It's been 90 days of protests at the ICE facility in Portland where tensions are high, neighborhoods resemble war zones, and the line between order and chaos is razor thin.
I cannot believe this is happening. I've been waiting a while for this and really kind of keeping it a secret. So if you are unaware, this is the Portland Federal Building where protesters and federal agents have been clashing every single night for about 4 months in a row now.
I'm Katie Davis-Court reporting for the Post Millennial, and tonight I'm going behind the scenes with Homeland Security's Federal Protective Service.
That's right, a friend of the channel, and I think a lot of you guys follow her by now. If not, you need to go follow her on X. She got into the Portland Federal Building. She's gonna give us the behind the scenes, and I cannot wait to see this video. I've been keeping it a secret. I'm really excited to watch it, and I think we can all learn something together. Now, real quick, before we start the video, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, but it also helps others see the videos as well, to include Donald Trump, who is now paying attention to this story because you guys have been promoting the videos and promoting the journalist like Katie, so make sure to please like the video. Okay, the first behind the scenes, here we go.
It's been 90 days of protests at the ICE facility in Portland where tensions are high, neighborhoods resemble war zones, and the line between order and chaos.
By the way, I am making a video on what you just saw right here pretty soon, so make sure to please subscribe to my channel so I can keep you up to date with the people who get arrested at the building.
Is razor thin. I'm Katie Davis-Court reporting for the Post Millennial, and tonight I'm going behind the scenes with Homeland Security's Federal Protective Service.
She got to drive into the building, and these protesters had no idea. And I accidentally found out, it's not like I was even supposed to know this, but I was wondering what is going on right now, and these protesters had no idea that Katie was actually driving right past them.
The officers who stand as our nation's first line of defense in protecting our federal buildings.
Well, we've had multiple assaults on federal officers ever since early June.
Well, our officers do a great job. Some of them work 24/7, especially on these protest activities.
Portland is unbelievable what's going on. These are paid terrorists.
By the way, Donald Trump had no idea this was going on. This is literally because of Katie Davis-Court and Honey Badger Mom. You can go follow her on X as well. And you guys have been liking my videos so much and following the journalist, blowing up these stories. Fox News paid attention, and then Donald Trump saw it. So it is no joke how much power you guys really have when you work with the journalist, to include myself, to promote these videos.
Okay.
President Trump's border czar is promising increased immigration raids in sanctuary cities, and today he specifically called out Portland.
Seattle, all these sanctuary cities that refuse to work with ICE, where we know public safety threats are being released every day into this country. We're going to address that.
From lockdown perimeters and guillotines to arson attacks and assaults, I'm diving into the unfiltered reality of keeping the peace in one of America's most volatile hotspots.
I cannot believe she's on the other side of the gate. This is the first time we have ever seen this.
Tonight we have about 30 to 40 protesters outside. It's a pretty normal night. Well, so Federal Protective Service, our mission here is to exactly that, is to protect the federal facility, protect the employees, protect visitors. We've been doing.
Yep. And tell us a little bit about the protests.
So the protests, I mean, they're obviously the anti-immigration enforcement that's going on, and they started early June and slowly started to build, and we had a pretty heavy protest month in June, and then it's kind of stabilized out with.
Yeah, basically what happened was in June, more and more people started to go after federal agents, and then it's true, there was like a peaceful period, and then all of a sudden, the local judge here, she said, look, the police don't have to show up to loud noise complaints. If you're new here, the local police, Portland police, they don't have to show up. So these federal agents are on their own, quite literally.
It's, ebbs and flows. Sometimes we'll have busier nights than others. Number one, a lot of First Amendment protected activity. And then occasionally we'll have where it'll not be peaceable and we'll start having illegal activity that we have to, conduct enforcement on.
What are you looking for that isn't peaceful for you guys to go out and start dispersing the crowd?
I'm going to take a wild guess. This is a blind reaction. I'm going to take a guess and say if you stand in the driveway, that is considered not peaceful. That is my guess.
Well, if we have anything that would impede operations of the building, so our vehicle ramp and gate, if we can't get vehicles in and out.
That is by far, as somebody who covers these events every single night, and thank you so much, Katie, for getting all of the footage. If you block the driveway, you're going to have a problem. This is throughout the United States, but specifically in Portland, almost every single time there's an engagement or there's clashing, you're blocking the driveway.
So why are we speeding out so fast?
To prevent anyone from tailing us or any of the protesters in the area to get close and possibly do some damage. And then, assaults, things like that, when protests do get a little bit violent.
You guys aren't just dispersing a peaceful crowd.
No.
Okay, so this is what was happening back in June. These protesters were stacking rocks around the building, and although it looks fun and giddy and haha, we're stacking rocks, that's not what was going on. These protesters were now able to take the rocks and throw them at the agents. It was becoming a problem how these protesters were just hanging out all over the building. Now it's zero tolerance. If you touch the building or get close to it, you can get arrested now.
We certainly would not disperse a peaceful crowd.
And again, coming soon, I will be making a video on what you just saw there.
Embrace the First Amendment rights, absolutely. But when it becomes violent and it impedes on that peaceful...
That's Honey Badger Mom right there.
We embrace the First Amendment rights, absolutely. But when it becomes violent and it...
Right here, that's Honey Badger Mom. Go follow her on X. One of the top journalists as well. Yeah, she's one of the top when it comes to this, her and Katie.
It impedes on that peaceful protest, then that's when our officers take action.
Now, you guys have been dealing with these protests for 4 months now, you said. How's the officers' morale?
Overall morale's good. Obviously it does wear on morale to, pretty much take constant verbal abuse and beratement.
And look, I have actually called out the agents a couple of times on here, and I said, I don't know how I feel when they sometimes yell back a little too much. At the very beginning of all of this, you could tell the agents, they were quiet. They never talked to the protesters. Now it's becoming a common theme to yell back at the protesters and start to name off who the protesters are. But at this point, the gloves are sort of off. These protesters are at it 24/7. So it's really becoming psychological warfare at this point. I don't want to be too harsh on the officers, but there are times where these officers, man, they are yelling back. It never used to be like that at the very beginning of all of this. And I mean, think about it. These guys are using a guillotine to symbolize what they would want to do to these officers. So obviously you're going to feel some kind of way as a human. You're being told, protect the federal building. Okay, I'm going to protect the building, and there are people who want to take me out with a guillotine. It's going to wear everybody down eventually.
Right? That's part of their First Amendment right. We don't have to like what they say, but that can wear on the officers, being called obscene names, racist names. Oh, racism was a big one. And it's, oftentimes we'll pick out, minority officers and they'll get extra attention for verbal abuse.
I'm not going to say who it is, but there's an officer who has a specific number where they just wait for him to come out. They make fun of that number. Or there's an officer who looks a little older. They will make fun of him as well. Call him grandpa, things like that.
You get that! You get that! Really? Hey, black cops trying to act down for the white cops, man!
And so that does wear on people, but unfortunately, it's part of the job. We don't react to it and just, move on and conduct our mission.
Well, our officers do a great job. Some of them work 24/7, especially on these protest activities and on these operations. So I think it's important to hype them up and say, great work, great job, FPS. Thank you for protecting our facilities and our public.
What a lot of people also forget is that they are under 24/7 surveillance. So even when they're inside of the building, they have to be cognizant of what they say, what they're doing. People are watching them constantly. Their families have been posted around the area. There are forums who are talking about these officers and their identities. Don't worry, we've already uncovered them behind the scenes. I'm not just reacting to videos. The journalists are not just filming this. There's a lot going on behind the scenes as well. Don't worry.
Public and our protesters all equally are protected. So they're doing a great job, and we appreciate you giving us the opportunity to thank them.
What are the hours like here?
They are 12-hour shifts, but we're there 24/7. Yeah, we're here 24/7. They just keep going. Yes. I wouldn't say they were tired.
This is what I mean right here, like cops just lounging, but sometimes they do have to be careful the way that they act. They're going to get what's called clipped if they drop a helmet or something, or do something that's like really dumb, like you don't think it'd be that bad. It will get played over and over again throughout the internet. It creates a negative connotation against these guys. So really anything they do, they have to be careful. So the physicality of it is very difficult, but so is the mentality, the emotional side of things.
They're motivated, but they keep going. This is their job. They like doing it.
I mean, all our men and women, they're outstanding and they do their job. And the ICE personnel as well. I mean, they're here with us.
Dedicated.
And dedicated professionals. And again, we also support, the protesters exercise their First Amendment rights. I mean, it goes both ways. But we keep driving on. It's our mission, and we'll keep doing it as long as we have to.
So tell us a little about the guillotine.
Well, the guillotine was...
Okay, so all of that right there is interesting. This is all, it looks like evidence that might have been used against the federal agents. This garbage can might be something where the protesters used to try clashing in the front gate, but oftentimes it looks like the federal agents will bring equipment or tools used by the protesters as evidence.
What about the guillotine?
Well, the guillotine was abandoned property from Monday night. It was rolled out as part of the protest, and then after the crowd left, it was left in the middle of the street. So we moved it and brought it in until the rightful owner comes to claim it.
So how long have you been working here?
So I've been with FPS for over 4 years, but with the federal government for over 20.
And what made you become attracted to this job?
The mission. I believe in the mission. I believe in everything that FPS does. I definitely believe in being a public servant. So absolutely. I'm here to serve the public.
And would you recommend this job?
I absolutely would. It is very rewarding. And for anyone that wants to be in public service and give back, FPS is the place to be.
I mean, this is like the front lines of an FPS officer right here. This is really like, you need to be the elite of the elite to be able to handle this, because not everyone is doing this who's in this role. I mean, it sort of reminds me when I was in the U.S. military. Sometimes you get really great assignments. Sometimes you kind of get boring ones. This right here looks like to be the assignment. If you want the fullest of your job, where you have a guaranteed clash every single night, not that they want it, but it's going to happen, this is it right here.
And what kind of talent are you trying to attract?
Somebody that's really interested in protecting the rights of people, protecting law and order, and that are really passionate about law enforcement.
We are going up to the roof so that you can see the vantage point that a lot of our officers have for the protesters.
And the roof, what do they do on the roof?
Overwatch.
I have been waiting for this moment forever. I've always wanted to know what it looks like on top of the roof. Thank you so much, Katie.
What kind of crimes have you witnessed?
Well, we've had multiple assaults on federal officers ever since early June. We've had a lot of damage on the building. Not so much damage done recently, but in the early days in June, we had quite a bit of damage.
This guy allegedly used a stop sign as a battering ram to try and smash through the front door of the federal building. Just so you guys know, I made a video about this. You can go search through my videos where we talked about this man.
And that's why we put up all the plywood all over the windows, doors. We did have, in early June, we did have the attempted breach of the building where they
told you guys
actually tried to break in and smash the doors open.
And he's denying it. They're all denying it, even though we see right here what you did, just so you guys know.
And generally, it's a lot of, just failure to obey. They'll come onto federal property and we'll ask multiple times, these are LRAD or verbal warnings asking people to depart federal property. And then after numerous warnings, if they don't, that's when we'll address it. And that's when, we'll take enforcement action.
And are these protesters out here every night?
We've had, since June, every single night we've had protesters.
Quit your job! Quit your job! Quit your job!
The frequency obviously has sort of evolved. In June, we had from July to June a spike, then it just mellowed out, and all of a sudden it's getting a lot worse again because there's a lot more media attention here from the conservative side, but also the independent roots, especially through TikTok and live streamers. I talked about that a couple of videos ago where they heavily rely, these protesters heavily rely on TikTokers to film all of this and to promote it and to get donations.
And how can people get involved with FPS?
We would love for people to join our agency. So you just go to our website and you can definitely look how to become an FPS officer.
And that's a wrap on our time with the Federal Protective Service. Tonight we witnessed dedicated officers standing firm in the face of chaos, risking their lives to protect this federal property and putting it all on the line while navigating an unpredictable and volatile situation. As the protests show no signs of stopping, with demonstrators vowing to continue their stand, this story is far from over. So right now, we are grateful for the bravery we've seen and mindful of the challenges still ahead.
Yep, and that's the video. Holy cow, Katie. Leave your comments down below. And this is her X account. If you guys want to go give her a follow, please do, because again, it's because of you guys, your support, hyping this up, people were able to see this story. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for reacting to this video with me. God bless, and we'll see you all later.